Alright everyone, welcome back to the Guillermo Show. Actually, this is the Ship Web Dev Show, and today we're going to be looking at how to submit your assignments using GitHub. Now, some of you have some concern over how to actually submit your assignment in terms of what exactly you should include on your GitHub, as well as how to record your website or whatever it is that the project you are working on. So I'm going to go over a couple steps that you need to work on first. First, we're going to work on creating a repository. So this is going to be a sample submission, and this is an example. And in this example, I'm going to make it public so that way everybody can see your code, especially for us, the instructors. I want to see exactly what you worked on. And make sure that you click on the initialize with repository with a README. It's very crucial that you open it with a README because that way you'll be able to add in all the documentation regarding the project. And then from here you can just none and add none to those things. Now you can go ahead and click repository. So make sure you have a repository name, an example about your project, what it is, and make sure you click on the initialize repository with README. Alright, that's it. You create the repository, and then from there, now we can clone this project in our desktop, and here it'll ask us where we want it to be located. In this case, I wanted it to be in my desktop, so this is perfect. So I'm going to clone it, and I can see it right here. So this is what I cloned from GitHub. And now I need to start adding information to my example submission. So in order to do that, I'm going to open up my Atom code editor, and in it I'm going to modify the README file. So in here, this is where I'm actually going to put in some of the information, or in other words, documentation regarding my project. And if you guys look over on our submission page, you can first you got to type in your name, right? Memo Sanchez, and then make sure that you look at the README template and you copy and paste all of this, and then from there you paste that into your README document. This is where you're gonna have information about like your project. So make sure that you change the name of your project. Sample submission is a web app that does nothing. And then here you just fill in some of the stuff about yourself, how much time you spent on it. This will allow us to know exactly what's going on in terms of the classwork and the amount of time that you put in, so that way we know exactly how much time to allocate in the future for our assignments. User stories. So what I mean by user stories here is that you make sure that you add some things that you think are most likely to be required in your assignment. For example, on the first website, I already included some of them that are basically a must for your project. For example, website is dynamic. It can be viewed on all mobile devices. Images are dynamic. They change size. Implemented hamburger menu. You can add more depending on what the homework assignment was, which you can verify that from the Make School assignments that we're doing. And then here, these are going to be optional. They're not really necessary, so you can just leave that blank. And then the additional ones are the ones you want to focus on. This is where you get to list anything else that you did in order to improve your website, that you made it look cooler, or maybe you added like a video, or maybe you included a feature that can add users and images and videos onto your website, or something like that. This is the important part here. In here, this is where you're going to include what's called a Jiffy. A Jiffy is basically a short video that you can submit. So if I were to show you an example here, let me show you an example. Testing doc. So for example, let's say that we have this right now, right? And you want to submit a video. Well, there's multiple ways you can submit a Jiffy. One way is by using what's called lice cap. Actually, I don't think it's lice cap. Never mind, don't go there. Right here. So it's a lice cap. It's a very basic tool, and all it does is that it creates jiffies like this one right here. So you guys see this one right here? If we can just copy this image address and put it on our example here, you can see what I mean by what do I want to see in your project. So I'm going to change this to this one right here. So let's say that I was working on making a notepad and all I did was type on it. Well, this is how I would do it. And as you can see here, this is showing what I worked on. So if you made a website, then what I would do is using this application, make sure you download it here for Mac or for Windows depending on your operating system. Once you have that downloaded, you can create your own jiffies with LiceCap, which is what we just downloaded. Now using this tool, all you have to do is you click the record button and click yes, and it'll start recording what I do here. So what I'm doing here now is I'm just clicking through and blah blah blah. Once I stop it, it should create it for me. I'm going to quit this, and here, if you look over here, now you can actually see my jiffy that I just created. And if you click on it, this will show you, oh, never mind. There you go. If I preview it, now you can see what I have been able to create here, right? Perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to add this to my GitHub repository. So I'm going to put this into my repository. And next, what I want to do now is I want to add that jiffy into my README. So the way I do it is pretty straightforward. All I have to do is, come on, I have to mention it in right here. So I need to change this GIF to walkthrough.gif. There you go. So this is referencing my walkthrough right here, this GIF right here. And the reason why I put this / is because think about it as a computer directory. This is already knowing that it's within the same directory, and then this is the file name. So this is going to know that it's in the same directory. So when I push this to GitHub, it'll actually know that it's going to be located within the same directory. So all I do is I close it, I save it, Command S, and now we can go back to our GitHub and make sure that we added GIF to project. Push that, make sure you push it to Origin, and then once that goes through, we can go check our submission, and look at that. So now we have this really cool jiffy that we created, and we can see exactly how your app works. The reason why we want you guys to submit GIFs is so that we can see what your project looks like, so we can have a visual, so that way we don't have to go into the trouble of downloading your code and having to run it on our own systems, because sometimes different operating systems will not have the same compatibility with ours. So we want you guys to use the GIF. We want you all to use this GIF creator so that you can be able to provide a visual of what you worked on. And obviously we use LiceCap to create it. You can just click on it and download it from here. So I hope this works. I hope this presentation is really useful for you, and I hope that you all are now feel more confident and also more sure of what to do in your submission. But to finalize this video, I'm going to show you what to do next. Essentially, you're going to now copy the link of your entire GitHub repository, and you're going to submit that for this one. This is what I just copied, this on top. This is the URL for your GitHub project, okay? So that's what you're going to paste here. And that's all you have to do. Once that's submitted, You just make sure that you finish documenting your assignment and you submit. Okay? Hope this video helps, and I look forward to seeing you all submitting those awesome projects. Until next time.